Hey, it's Jared, and in this video we're going to talk about different e-learning platforms. If you are a course creator or you're thinking about creating a course and selling it online, this video is going to be super helpful because I've been doing this for over 10 years. That's around the time that I launched my first course was just a little over 10 years ago, and I released it on a platform that was new at the time called Udemy, and shortly after that I realized, I need to be building my own email list. I need to be able to work with my students instead of just being stuck in this platform. So I signed up for Teachable. It was right around the time that Teachable, I can't remember if they sold or rebranded or whatever it was and became Teachable. And I've been with Teachable for a long time. Now, the problems that I've had with Teachable is that the platform doesn't have a whole lot of features as far as being able to design a really nice web page. The process is possible and you could really create nice web pages, but it requires a lot of code and staying on top of those things. And for me, in the nature of my work, I just don't have a lot of time to be doing that. And so I'm always looking for an easier platform, especially for my own stuff, because I spend most of my working hours or my waking hours really working on client projects. And even though I have a lot of experience with web design, I don't end up having a lot of energy or time left over to mess with my own websites. So my own websites typically need to be easy to manage. So with Teachable, I didn't renew my yearly membership like I have every year last year when they give their nice specials for Black Friday. Usually that's when I would renew because they usually give a pretty good discount. But they increased their prices and I decided, I want to move from Teachable, so I'm just going to go monthly. And that led me to looking at Kajabi. Kajabi is great, and a lot of people are moving over to Kajabi. It's significantly more expensive than Teachable, but it has a lot more features. But in looking at that price tag of what it was going to cost me to be on the Kajabi platform, it really just makes me think, man, I could be building my own platform and have all the features that I want and the integrations that I want without having to go through the different intricacies that Kajabi has, or some even limitations. And then, of course, if I stuck with Teachable, there's limitations there as well. So I do my email marketing with ConvertKit. I absolutely love ConvertKit. So I wasn't looking to use Kajabi for email marketing. I probably would have used Kajabi's email tools for communicating with students, but not for email marketing. And of course, Teachable has the ability to communicate with your students via email, but it's not very robust. And I found that a lot of times those emails end up in spam, and it's just not the best system. So in building my own platform, or thinking about building my own platform, of course I would be looking at using WordPress and an LMS plugin like LearnDash. I have a bit of experience with LearnDash in having rolled out an e-learning component on websites for some of my clients. And over the last few years, I myself have played around with LearnDash in my desires to move away from Teachable and get into something that is a little bit more customizable. So let's look at what I have now, and we're going to walk through some of the features and some of the differences between these three platforms: Teachable, Kajabi, and setting up your own platform with WordPress and a variety of plugins. Before I do that, there are some links down in the description below, and so if you decide to sign up for anything, Teachable and some of these plugins for WordPress are the only affiliate programs that I have. I don't have an affiliate program with Kajabi, so if you sign up for Kajabi, great. It is a great platform. Teachable, I have an affiliate, but I'm not pushing anybody in any direction. My desire here is that you, with the information that I provide, can better decide what it is that you want. So let's look at Teachable. This is my Teachable site, which is very basic. I haven't even made a logo. I've changed the name of this site a few different times, and Learn with Jared is not my favorite name. It was just like I needed a domain name and I bought one and went with it. And I have most of my courses on this Teachable site. What I do like about Teachable is that the course layout is very simple, very easy. The sales pages are clean and pretty simple. You get a curriculum preview down at the bottom, and you have plenty of room to put some information in there. I can make a background image to fit in here, which I haven't done. This course is like a free course, and so I didn't put a whole lot of attention into it. But a lot of people have signed up for this course. And so this course on my Teachable site has, I think, like over 25,000 that have signed up for it. So looking at the front end of the website, some of the things that have been frustrating to me is there's not an option for making a communication form. So if somebody wants to go to the help page, I'm just redirecting them out to my website so that they can communicate with me. Teachable does not have any way for you to embed a form. I like to have a form because it cuts down on spam, and it also gives people the opportunity to opt into my email newsletter if they want to when they're communicating with me. Not all the time is a student the only one using that form. People may have questions, and I still want those people who have questions who have not become a student yet to have the opportunity, because using email marketing automation, I can determine whether or not somebody who communicates with me through my contact form is a student or not, and then I could send them a series of emails kind of introducing them to my courses and hopefully win them over and have them become a student of one of my paid courses. So not able to do that easily in Teachable, and so I have to kick them out to another location. Unless I wanted to pay for an email service that allows me to embed emails like Typeform, which I've done in the past, but those are all expenses and they add up. They all start to stack up and get really expensive. So let's go into the back end of Teachable. You can see here in Teachable, I've got a nice revenue display. I like their revenue display and my ability to see a live feed of new students, and that is a great option. When I look in the back end of my courses, so all of my courses, you can see the amount of enrollments and the different classes that I have, and I like being able to see all of this here. The sales, the enrollments. I can easily reorder the display of my courses on the pages throughout my website. When I go in and go into the site editor, this is where things get rather limiting unless you go into the Power Editor and just edit all the code. I'm able to set my logo, school thumbnail, a favicon, change some colors and stuff like that, and that is about as far as it gets. Of course, I can update a font as well, but that is as much as you get for editing. And the reason that I haven't gone through and made my website amazing is because I don't want to go into the Power Editor, and I also don't even have the plan to use the Power Editor at the moment. It seems that you have to go up to the highest level plan now, which I am on the middle plan, the professional plan. So in customizing your site, Teachable, while it's super affordable to get started with Teachable, it is not so affordable as you move forward and want to have a really customized site. And then there's still also a lot of limitations and third-party solutions that you're going to need, such as a form builder like Typeform or something like that, so that you can have nice forms built within your site. So managing users is great. I mean, the site itself, the back end of the site is pretty good. I haven't had any issues with managing students. I have over 20,000 students that are currently still enrolled. Of course, some people may decide to, after they take the course, to be removed. I think over time I've had just over 25,000 students, but as I've gone through and kind of cleaned up that list, it seems to hover around like 20,000 as I kind of clean up that list and keep things from just being a mess, because I don't care about having thousands and thousands of students. I just want to have a clean list when I send emails. And so when I go and clean out my ConvertKit, which all of these students are over in my ConvertKit as well, I also come back over after sending a email to let them know that I'm cleaning things up. And if they don't click to confirm, then I also keep this list here, my student list, clean, just like I try to keep ConvertKit clean. So that way it doesn't just get out of hand and I don't have, hundreds or even thousands of students that are inactive. So just to show you the email tool, like if I wanted to send an email, this is what I have. I have the ability to choose users, a course, or all users, and then I can send an email, and there really just is not much that I can do there. There is a template editor, of course, that I can go into if I want to use code and edit the templates for a variety of different emails that students would get, but it's not very intuitive for the average user. You do have to have a lot of experience writing code and stuff like that, and so that's where Teachable gets a little bit tricky. You do have the ability for courses, coaching, and bundling courses together to make subscriptions. And so if you were wanting Teachable as an option, you can offer coaching, which is like an hourly thing that people can pay for. And you can also bundle courses together to make subscriptions. So Teachable could be a membership site host for you. So you could create a membership site based off of several courses or all of your courses. I have courses that span different categories: photography, web design, social media marketing, and a few other odds and ends. And so if I was to set those up in a membership, I might want to make the membership specific to a topic, so that way people aren't paying for things that they aren't interested in. And so I can do that within bundles, which is really great. It's also easy to create multiple schools in Teachable. Of course, with every school, you have to have a plan for every school too, which can get kind of expensive. So let's jump over to Kajabi and take a look at what I started setting up with Kajabi. I didn't finish setting up everything with Kajabi because I'm actually not at this time going to choose to go with Kajabi, and I'll explain why. So this is just a home page that I started to throw together. It has a lot of empty space because this was just a template that they had, and I started to change out some of the content within the template. But if we go into their site here, so I'm on the back end of the site now, and I go into the editor, so I've customized the page. There's a much more robust page editor in Kajabi. So now I can come in here and I can make changes to any of the content of the page really easily. I can add more elements, and so if I go right back here, I can click add a section, and there are all of these different sections that I can add to my page. And so I can create really dynamic pages here, not just the front-facing pages that people would see when they come to my website, but also in creating some amazing landing and sales pages that could be very specific that I send people to. And that's what I've heard is really the true power in Kajabi, is your ability to create so many of those pages and use those with your email marketing. And then of course Kajabi has email marketing built in, which means if you only need email marketing for your school, your online school, then you don't need a third-party service like I use, like ConvertKit. So you don't have to go with ConvertKit or MailChimp or any of the others, which you're paying a subscription there. You're paying a subscription for your LMS platform for your online school, paying a subscription for several other things, and Kajabi kind of brings all of those together, which means less subscriptions, more all-in-one solution. And so as we just kind of click through the back end here, of course, I've got pages, all of my pages that are listed. Some of them are system pages, and then some of them are created pages. And you can create a lot of pages, and then there's also landing pages, and then you can create pipelines as well, which turns visitors into customers, which is great because, when they come to your website, they might not necessarily be ready to sign up, and you need a process to walk people through. Landing pages, of course, are great for if you have ads or if you have social media or something else where you're driving people to a sales page. That's what landing pages would be good for. And then, of course, your typical website pages. I did really like the process for managing my course. And so we'll go back here in a moment into Teachable, because this is an area that you'll spend a lot of time in, managing the curriculum and your actual course between these platforms. There's some differences and some things that I really like. So I like the ability to more easily see everything here, because I can kind of minimize and get all of my categories down. I can go in and look at all of my course content. And so in my course content, when I'm viewing one of these here, I've got the title, I've got the category. I can easily move a course to a different category or a different section of my course. I've got the video here, a text box to add text. I can also add downloads. And then a real powerful thing is being able to have automations happen and take place as a course is completed, or not even a whole course, but as a lesson is completed. So when this lesson is completed, then I can grant somebody an offer. I can subscribe them to an email sequence. Like, how many people, if you've done a free course before, a lot of people will sign up for a free course and they don't move too far through the course. And so you can actually have sequences, emails that would go out as somebody progresses through a course. That keep them moving. And so somebody gets past the first section, they get an email, boom, hey, congrats, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. Here's some thoughts. Make sure to go back and jump back into that other section. And not even just in a free course, in any course, it's important that we get people through the entire course, because some people get busy, they forget, they get discouraged maybe. And so being able to send people an email as they progress through the course is pretty fantastic. Then of course you can also register or deregister people from an event, add or remove a tag, send them an email, or send them a single-use coupon. And so there's a lot of neat automations there that you can utilize, and to really just keep people engaged throughout taking one of your courses. That's something that you can't easily do in Teachable. So if I go into my course, we'll go into the same course, so we're kind of looking at the same thing, and we'll go right into the curriculum in Teachable. Teachable's curriculum is not bad. This editor here is not bad. I can't minimize things, so there's a bit of scrolling. So if you have a long course, you're going to have a lot of scrolling to do. But as I go into one of the items, I've got the video here, which it shows the thumbnail, and I can update the thumbnail and change that to the appropriate image. I can add in other things like video, audio, PDF, and I just drag and drop those in, or of course I can click to select and add them. I can also add text, add a quiz, add a code example, custom code, add an upsell, or add a referral block. And a referral block is to remind them as a student to refer other people. And so there's some interactive things that you can do here as well, but it's missing that automations option there, and that automations is huge, I think, as far as an integration goes for keeping people engaged. And so it is missing that. Looking at how we manage our course, when we're in a specific course in Teachable, we have our course information that we can edit here, such as the branding for that page, details about the course, assigning it to an author, and some basic SEO and compliance stuff. We also have some pages that people will interact with, such as the sales page, a checkout, and a thank you page that we can customize. And then we can choose between a few different page design templates. We can set our pricing. There's an order bumps option. We can set custom coupon codes that people can use. We can set our content to drip out. So over a period of time, our different sections can be released via a schedule, which is really good, especially if you are walking people through a timed process rather than just releasing the entire course at once. There can also be comments, and so students can comment on different things as well. You can view reports and also certificates, create certificates that students can get when they complete your course. So, of course, you can do those things in Kajabi as well. Under products, Kajabi also supports podcasting now, and so you can create a podcast You can even import an existing podcast and use Kajabi as a podcast host. They also offer coaching. So what Kajabi does a little bit different is you have offers rather than just sales. And so I can set these different offers for my course, whether it's a full price or a discounted price, or if it's part of a bundle of other courses or a subscription. There are lots of different offers that I can add here and customize. Kajabi also supports coupons, so I can create coupons to give discounts off on my courses or memberships. I could view any payment transactions here. Teachable also has an affiliate manager, which makes it really easy to sign people up to become affiliates and also to handle the payment process. Teachable does have a back-end fee that they charge for that, a percentage, and based on the different account level that you have, Kajabi includes all of that. So where things start to get different is where Kajabi has email marketing. They have email campaigns, which I could just send out an email campaign. That's like a single email. I have pipelines that I can create, which are a process of sending people through different places on your website, and they can also include emails. We have automations here, which all of our automations would show up here. And so that's kind of an if-then or a when-then situation. So when somebody subscribes or when somebody signs up or when somebody makes it a certain amount of way through a course. But what I also like is if somebody's been inactive. And so this is good for people who have subscription sites who need to keep people engaged throughout the process, because an unengaged person is eventually going to unsubscribe. And so being able to send an email to somebody when they've been inactive for 7, 30, 60, 90 days is fantastic. If they've been inactive and they're still subscribed, I mean, I don't know, but there's definitely interesting things that you can do and offer there to keep people engaged. And then, of course, there's then statements, which allows us to do different things like grant offers, subscribe to an event, add a tag, send an email, send coupons, and all of that good stuff. And so Kajabi really has tools that are more geared towards people who are building subscription sites. And this is where I really considered Kajabi over Teachable and even building my own site. The ability to set up these emails and send these emails to keep people engaged means the difference between losing several students every single month. That could definitely more than cover the cost of Kajabi in and of itself. And so Kajabi's email marketing right there is absolutely fantastic. Within Teachable, I don't have any way to send any automated emails like that to keep people engaged. And it's even really tricky to do that in building my own website to keep people engaged as well. Events are another neat option. If you are running a subscription-based school, chances are you're probably doing things like office hours or going live so that you can interact with your students, and it makes it very easy for you to schedule all of that within Kajabi. And then, of course, there are Kajabi forms, which allow you to create forms for different purposes. The only thing that I was frustrated about is that it wasn't easy for me to create a contact form. And a simple contact form should be really easy, but it wasn't easy here. If I have my form fields, I wasn't able to add a form field for a text box. So there's no text box that I can use as a form field so that I could use this form as a communications type of form. These forms are simply for subscribing to lists or signing up for information. And so still with Kajabi, if I want something like a contact form, a way for people to put in some information, maybe I want to do a feedback form after the course with some questions, I'm definitely still going to need a third-party solution for that. And that was something that was rather frustrating to me about Kajabi, was not having that ability. Managing your people is pretty easy. You can even import contacts in here. I talked to Kajabi about how I would migrate my Teachable students over to Kajabi, and the process is not super easy. They suggested creating some sort of an offer to get people to move over, also using it as an opportunity to have all just active students move over, so that way I'm not moving inactive people over who might not necessarily even be utilizing my courses anymore, because like I said at the beginning of this video, some of those are free courses, some of them are older, and so people probably have taken that course and long forgot about my website since then. So using this as an opportunity to move people over and kind of clean up the process, which definitely sounds good to me. But I'm still not 100% sold there. So Kajabi, I think, is the best option if it fits your budget. If you're just getting started, Teachable, definitely a great option. But we haven't looked at building your own site using WordPress yet. And so that's what we're going to look at. I just started kind of throwing this site together. So it's not a great site. It doesn't have many pages and it only has a couple of my courses. But I wanted to show you some of what I've set up here and how I think this is going to be better for me. So if I go into one of my courses, so we'll just go into the Sony a7 IV course that I've been showing you so far. Very, nice front end look at the course. And when I go in and view one of the courses, of course, I get my video. I didn't upload a video to that one. That's right. So let's click on this one. The video pops up, and as it loads here, it's a nice, real high resolution video because I'm utilizing Vimeo as the video host. And Vimeo, of course, most people know Vimeo. Very high quality video, very good compression. And on Teachable, their videos are okay. They're definitely more compressed than what I'm getting, and so if you look at the clarity here, you might even be able to just tell, even though you're watching this on YouTube, like the difference between the clarity here and the clarity here. Same videos, essentially, but you can even see the colors are a little washed out. There's a lot more compression here. Let's look at Kajabi. So if we look at Kajabi, definitely much better compression, closer to what we're seeing with Vimeo. But just on this page display, the video is relatively small, which probably isn't an issue. It's definitely going to look a lot different on mobile devices. But, I like this page layout. And then if I look at the Teachable page layout, much bigger video, but definitely not good compression. We've got the comment box down below. And then if I look at my own site here, I haven't added a commenting system down below yet, but, doesn't look half bad either. And so very easy to mark my this particular lesson complete, back to course for navigation. Here I would just hit complete and continue up at the top. And then right here, mark is complete, and then it would move on to the next one. So, the video quality, I think, of course, with Teachable, not that great. Definitely a lot of compression there. Having many, many years of experience with Teachable, I do know that occasionally I get emails from people saying that a certain video isn't working or the videos altogether aren't working. Sometimes Teachable has issues with that. It hasn't been that often, but it has happened on occasion. And I don't have long-term experience with Kajabi and whether or not they have any issues there. I have read reviews from other people who have said Kajabi, one of the reasons they switched is because Kajabi is much more stable as far as video delivery. But I do know with my own site here, utilizing Vimeo, I'm definitely not going to have any issues there. So let's just click around my own site here a little bit. This is WordPress using a theme that I purchased and customized a little bit that is set up and works with the LearnDash LMS plugin. And so when I view one of my courses, I can click on that course and it's going to take me right into the course page because I am logged in. If I was not logged in, so let me just pull up a private window here really quick and go to that. I would see the course page and I would have the opportunity to sign up. I haven't really done much design to the course sales page yet. This is where Kajabi is definitely going to be a lot better because Kajabi has that sales page process, and of course Teachable does too, but Kajabi's is just much better. So if I click on take this course, what I'm doing right now is taking people over to a subscribe page where they'll be able to choose between purchasing just the course or purchasing an all-access pass. So if they decide to purchase an all-access pass, they'll have the opportunity right now to either purchase a yearly subscription or a lifetime membership. And I'm using WooCommerce as the process for handling all of this. And so I need to of course, add graphics and get these pages designed out a little bit better. But I can essentially add this to cart and check out. And then when I create my account, I would then have access to all courses because in the back end, I can set that up. I also like the fact that there's an easy way to review a particular course here. So if I was on the specific, just the Sony A7 IV sales page, I can see reviews, I can see what other people are saying. This is a little bit of where the process of building your own site can get a little crazy because you have your course page that people go to. You also have the product page that people will purchase your course from. And so you have to really think through the process there of how people are going to navigate your site. Because with Kajabi and even Teachable, it's pretty cut and dry and it's guided, and there are obvious lanes that you're going down. You can't just create a bunch of random pages that still kind of all do the same thing. Like Kajabi and Teachable do a good job of holding you in that lane, whereas with WordPress, obviously we can create all sorts of pages and get ourselves in trouble if we're not careful. So under courses, if I go to the course view, it's going to look just like that home page because, like I said, I haven't fully developed this site yet. I've got my 3 courses that I've added here. I created a simple about page and just using Elementor that's also integrated with this site, and then a contact page with an actual form that people can fill out and a subscribe option that will allow people to subscribe to my email newsletter. This type of integration is pretty much the main deciding factor as to why I'm going to take the extra time and I'm going to build my own site. A lot of times people are going to come to my site because they were watching a YouTube video like this or from one of my other channels, and they might not necessarily be ready to purchase a course. Or maybe I didn't want to direct them to a course. I wanted to direct them to another piece of information. And then I want them to fill out a form or interact with me somehow. Well, if the only thing that they can do is put in their email and their name, that's not very interactive. That's saying, yes, send me something, which is great. That's a call to action. I can send them, something through email and get them on my list, but I can't get any feedback from them or ask them a question. If I wanted to ask them a question, A, B, or C, can't do that with those other forms. And so using Gravity forms within WordPress here, I could build out any form that I want and have a really nice system. So let's look at the back end of WordPress really quick and what's going on here. There are a lot of plugins on this site that definitely makes me a little nervous just because there's so many things going on. But the LearnDash LMS plugin is obviously going to be a huge one for you if you're going to be creating courses. So let's go into the course builder. And so we'll just edit this and we'll see our course page. It looks very much like a WordPress page. We give it a title, we give it a description, we come over here and categorize it, give it some tags, add a featured image, and then we go under Builder, and this is where we set up our course sections and our lessons within those sections. And so if I open up one of these lessons, essentially what I have is a WordPress post or page, and I can add anything that I want to this. So all I've added is a video, so that's a great look. This is just a Vimeo embed, so this is a Vimeo block that I've added, but just like any other WordPress page, I can add in anything from paragraphs, text, lists, headings, but much more than that. I can also add in interactive things that work within LearnDash. I have installed BuddyPress, and I was going to use BuddyPress as an interaction tool for commenting, and then also having a discussion forum specific to a course so that I can create communities around my courses as well, which I think is huge to keeping people engaged and moving forward through the courses. There was that engagement method, or there was the engagement method with Kajabi with sending emails and stuff, and I would still need a third-party tool for a community. Even though Kajabi has communities, I wouldn't have wanted to really get people stuck into a community that I'm then going to have to pay for forever. And so and utilizing WordPress and BuddyPress, that would probably be a better option for me. But so there's lots of blocks and modules and things that I can add to build out this page and make it much more than just a video. So I can add anything to this page, which makes it much more dynamic. And as I design different courses and have different courses with different purposes, I'm able to build out dynamic pages for my students to interact with lots of information. That's going to make the lesson a lot more engaging than just a typical page that I could create even with the other platforms, Kajabi and Teachable, which have those options but just are not as feature rich as LearnDash and WordPress is. So under settings, I can come in here and set the pricing on my course. Here's where I set it to closed, that the course costs that price, and the button URL takes them to the subscribe page. I could also have buy now if I was just selling courses one at a time. I could have buy now and make it really easy for people just to buy the course, sign up. But because I'm going to have multiple courses, I want them to go through this process of choosing to purchase a single course or subscribing for a membership. And so there's just a lot here. And under doing this in WordPress, there is a lot more that you have to manage and think about yourself. Of course, you can also create quizzes and certificates and groups for people to interact in. And you can also integrate LearnDash with Zapier. And this is where I'd be able to do a little bit of automation like Kajabi as somebody goes through the process of a course. After they complete a certain lesson, I could have Zapier then trigger an email from ConvertKit that would go out to them and move them into different places within ConvertKit, adding and removing tags, putting them into new automations. And so using Zapier to connect LearnDash to ConvertKit, I have a lot of power at my fingertips there too. So where Kajabi has some nice internal automations that work well with your courses, ConvertKit does everything as far as automations go. So being able to connect the two is great. It's a little bit more work, obviously, but it's going to give me a lot more flexibility. And then looking at my products within WooCommerce, you can see I've got those 2 subscription products here, and then I have my one course that I've added. I haven't added the other 2 courses yet. But in setting up a subscription, here's what that would look like. You'd go in and create a product, and then there's a subscription option here. So I would choose simple subscription, give it a price every year. When does that expire? Does it expire after a year, or when does this offer expire? And so sometimes you need to mouse over these little helps to kind of understand what each thing does. And then what courses are people going to get? Well, if they're purchasing a all access pass for a year, I need to make sure that all courses are added. Or of course, I can also add LearnDash groups as well to that and give people access to those groups. And then when somebody purchases this, because they are a customer and they have purchased this specific product, this product within WooCommerce tells LearnDash LMS, give them access to those courses. And then of course, since this is a subscription, after the end of that year, it would expire their access unless they paid again. And expire after means, expire after they've been a customer for so long. So I would choose never expire because I want them to keep resubscribing every single year. I don't want that to be a manual process. I want, and I guess I could after 5 years, like if they haven't made a change after 5 years, cancel, but I don't know. That's up to you how you want to set that up. You can also do free trials in here. You can run sales and stuff like that. WooCommerce has a coupon tool, and so being able to do coupons that give people discounts off of certain things. This is just like you were selling products, and so you can run coupons for certain products, for certain time frames, for groupings of products, and all of that stuff as well. So being that you're using WooCommerce for the actual transactional process here means that you have a lot of flexibility, a lot more that you can do with your customers and what you can offer those students as they're in that customer phase of making a purchase. Lots that you can do there because WooCommerce is so robust. And then, of course, with the LearnDash LMS, there are lots of plugins and add-ons that you can add in to give more functionality to your school. Not only just integrating with different payment processors, here's the Zapier connection that I'm using to connect LearnDash with ConvertKit and other tools. I'm putting in bbPress for a forum so that I can have discussion forums for each of my courses. And then, of course, there's also integration with BuddyPress so that when somebody is in the discussion forum, they can have a profile. People can go to their profile and see the courses that they're enrolled in and stuff like that. I'm not 100% sure how much I want to turn this into a mini social network, but I do want to have the same features that I would have to give them in a Facebook group or something like that. A lot of people use Facebook groups and other stuff. And I mean, Facebook groups are great now, but they might not be around forever. I'd much rather keep everybody at the course and on my website interacting and communicating within the same site. And so there's lots of different plugins and stuff that you can add here, as well as a ton of third-party paid plugins. And so, it can get expensive if you start integrating anything and everything that there is possible. So let's talk about, let's bring this all back down. This has been a very long video. Let's bring this all back down to how to make a choice. Now, let's start with Teachable. If you're just getting started, you don't have a lot of experience with web design or WordPress or anything like that, Teachable is going to be a great option because they have a free option. So you can create courses and get yourself started without having to pay a thing. That's probably the best option for people getting started. And then as you scale up a little bit and you need some additional features, you can move into a higher plan within Teachable and start to unlock some of those features and also get lower transaction fees. This is where Teachable is going to eventually eat you alive, is with the fees. Teachable's free plan is obviously really heavy in fees. Their professional plan still has some fees, and then their highest end plan has less fees, but there's still fees there. Of course, it's not that bad as far as comparing that to Kajabi when it comes to cost, because if you're just needing basic features, Kajabi has a lot more features and you're going to pay for those features. If you're going to want to build something that's more interactive and has a lot more potential for growth, Kajabi is definitely the best option for you there. Kajabi makes it very easy for you to set up web pages and build out different aspects of your site without having any code experience. As you can see when we looked at that page editor, pretty simple, easy to set up, edit text and all of that stuff, a nice platform. And so Kajabi would be the next step for somebody who really wants to take their online school serious and really make it a robust system of interacting with students and making sure that everybody is staying engaged through the process. Kajabi is a fantastic option for that. And it was very hard for me to decide not to go with Kajabi because it had so many of those features that were built in and already ready to go. I just had to configure them. Then there's the last option, which is building your own website with WordPress and LearnDash LMS. LearnDash LMS is fantastic. WooCommerce, all of these different plugins are fantastic, but they require a lot more to set up. If you are more of a hands-on person and you want to customize everything, then obviously the WordPress option is going to be the direction for you to go in. But it is challenging and there is a lot to set up there. And I've spent a lot more time on this site than I've spent on Kajabi and probably even Teachable, and I still have a long way to go in customizing and setting up this site. But being able to completely customize the pages as I see fit using Elementor, meaning that I'm not stuck to just some blocks that I can move around and choosing between a few, I can create a page and have it look and feel any way that I want it to, because I have that power with WordPress and Elementor, and I even have a course on Elementor that's easy. And so there you go on building out web pages. And eventually, as I get further down this road, I'll probably produce some course content on how to just really build out this website for yourself. Now, let's talk about cost. Now, I, of course, have talked about the costs with Teachable being the cheapest, Kajabi being a bit more expensive. Where does the build it yourself fit into all of this? A WordPress website host is probably going to cost you about $20 to $30 a month. Then you have the plugins. LearnDash LMS is a yearly subscription. WooCommerce is free, but if you want some of the features like subscriptions, there's yearly fees with that as well. And so as you add more features and stuff into your website, the cost that you're going to incur on a yearly basis is going to increase slowly or even substantially if you decide you want a lot of features. The WordPress option is going to be cheaper than Kajabi, but at times can be more expensive than Teachable. So as far as cost goes, it's probably going to fit somewhere down there in the middle. However, the amount of effort to get it going is going to be substantial. If you don't have any experience with web design or building out your own website, then you're going to probably have to hire somebody if you don't have the time to learn how to do it yourself. And that's where the WordPress option is going to get very expensive. If I was to build out a site, even just to the extent of this site that I have, it would cost several $1,000s. But then, of course, it wouldn't be ongoing several $1,000s every year. You'd just have the subscription fees to the plugins and for your hosting. And so you also have to look at your long game. How long are you going to be doing this? And how much flexibility do you want in your choices on setting up your website and building it out. Of course, if you're going to blog, if you're going to have a content strategy, I think that WordPress is the best option. Even though you can build out pages in Teachable, you can build out pages in Kajabi, including blog in Kajabi, I think WordPress is still the killer choice for that. And so if you're wanting one website that does it all, WordPress is definitely going to be your option, and you're going to have to deal with the initial setup and the challenge that comes along with that. So this video was super long, and I sure hoped you used some of the timestamps down below to jump around to the information that you found useful. But thank you so much for watching it. And if you have any questions, ask in the comment section down below. Check out some of my courses. Those courses are available to you and can help get you started through this process. And of course, if you're interested in photography, I've got some great courses for that as well. Links down in the description below are going to give you access to all of the plugins and different things that I've used to build my own site, as well as an affiliate link to Teachable. If you're thinking about signing up for Teachable, I'd appreciate if you use that link because it helps support me here as I continue to put out more content like this. And then Kajabi, I don't have an affiliate link for that, but if you choose Kajabi, just use the link below. Go over to Kajabi and sign up. It's a great platform, and I think it'll be a great option for you if you've determined that that's the direction for you. So thanks again for being here and for putting up with this extremely long video. My throat is now totally wrecked. I'm going to go get something to drink. I hope that you enjoy your day, and hope to see you back on another video here soon. Take care.